When I got started in network marketing, I don't know about you, but I was very frustrated because no one really taught me the basics, the fundamentals, the building blocks of how to go out and build a successful network marketing business. So I want to save you some time and frustration by giving you 7 of my best tips on getting started right in network marketing coming up. When starting your network marketing business, or maybe you're restarting your network marketing business, which is great about being in this great profession because you can relaunch your business at any point. You could be in the same company for 2 years and go, hey, you know what? I've had it. I'm going to draw a line in the sand and I'm going to relaunch my business. That's okay. You can always start your story over. But one thing to remember, basics create wealth in network marketing. Basics duplicate, fancy does not. And the definition of wealth, in my opinion, in network marketing is to get a large group of people doing a few simple things over a consistent period of time. And so what I want to do is I'm going to share with you 7 tips on how to do that. Tip number 1, remember it is a process. Okay, it's not the lottery, it's a business. In businesses, you have to take some time, you have to go through the right activities, you have to be consistent, persistent, keep a good attitude, okay, the entire time. Just remember, you're learning while you're earning, or vice versa, you're earning while you're learning, but it's a process. So don't get frustrated, just stick to the process. Number 2 tip, make sure you work on you. Every day I work as hard on myself as I work on my business. I learned this really kind of a life-changing moment for me was when I met a guy that won the lottery. And I remember talking to him because I was fascinated. And he talked about how he was working in the kitchen at a college, and the next thing you know, he won the mega $1 million lottery. And he was sharing with me that the first thing that he did when he went to get his check was they forced him to watch a video. There was one horror story after another one of people going, the lottery ruined my life. Because most of them, they didn't just lose the money, they went back to a place worse than where they were before they ever won the lottery. People even committed suicide. And that's when it really sunk in. I don't make what I want, I make what I am. And if I want to make more, I have to become more. And then my mentors taught me, Darin, don't get mad at the problems because you get paid based on the size of the problem that you can solve. So if you want to make more, you have to become more. So when they said, work on you, Darin, you have to be the best you can be. Because when you're giving out the same tool that somebody else is giving out in your company, or you're sending them the same video that someone else is sending, you all have the same company, the product, the compensation plan, the branding, the systems. The only difference is you. The only difference is me. So if we're making sure that we're sharing the message and we're just the messenger, we have to become the best messengers we possibly can. And Jim Rohn says, don't wish it was easier, wish you were better. So as you're going through the process, which was tip number 1, tip number 2, we continually work on ourselves. And it's not like you have to take a giant leap the first day. It's just doing a few simple things. It's like when I get ready in the morning, I'm listening to maybe 15, 20 minutes of a message or personal development. And you go, well, Darin, 15 minutes a day is not that big a deal. We'll compound that 7 days a week, every single month over a year. That slight edge compounds in a big way. Maybe it's listening to 10 or 15 minutes of an audio on the way to work, instead of the radio in the mornings or on the way back. Successful people do what unsuccessful people aren't willing to do. And so continue to work on you. It pays off because we get paid based on the value that we bring to the marketplace. Tip number 3, treat it like a job. So we talked about it's a process. We get into network marketing. It takes about 90 days to figure out what the heck you got into anyway. It takes about a year to start to learn the basics of network marketing and with your company. It takes another year to start getting good at the basics. And remember, you see these great network marketers and you go, wow, I wish I could be like them. That may be what you're saying to yourself. Well, remember, every great network marketer was a lousy network marketer at one time. And if you went to college, man, you're studying for 4 years, you're taking tests, you're working part-time jobs on the side, and at the end of 4 years, you've got a degree, you got a piece of paper, you play the resume game, and most likely you're in debt, tens of thousands of dollars. Well, what if you're going through Network Marketing University? You take the next few years and you're growing. The good news is you do get to earn while you learn. But I used to tell people, treat it like a business. But when people told me that, when I first got into network marketing, I'm like, I've never had my own business, so what do I do? Then someone put it a little different way. They go, Darin, treat it like a job. Okay, what if I hired you? So think about this. What if you were paying me $1,000 a week to go out and do presentations with your company? So let's say it takes about 15, 20 minutes to do a quick little overview. I'm not talking about a big detailed overview. I'm talking about one just to pique the interest, give a little bit of information over the different company product, compensation, so on and so forth. How many presentations would you expect me to do on a weekly basis? And if you really think about it, you go, okay, well, if you're working 8 hours, Darin, and you could definitely do one an hour, I would expect you probably to do 8 a day, which is about 40 in a week, which is about 160 in a month, give or take, if you're paying me $1,000 a week. Well, what if I'm working part-time or spare time and you're paying me $250 a week? Then you may say something like, hey, I would expect you to probably do 10 presentations a week. But so many times in network marketing, we confuse activity with productivity, and we think we're doing all this stuff to build our business, when if you really look at what we're doing, we're not doing anything to build our business. We're organizing emails. We're talking to people that are already in the business. We're getting ready to get ready. Well, treat it like a job. If you have 10 hours a week, 15 hours a week to put into your business, then treat those 10 very serious. How much would you have paid you for what you've done in the last 30, 60, 90 days? That's a question to maybe hang on your wall and ask yourself every single, week. How much would I have paid me for what I did this week? Another question that I like to ask myself at the end of every day is, if my organization did what I did today, how much money would I have made? And you may say, well, I don't really have a big organization. That's okay. The attitude comes before the money. The money doesn't come before the attitude. Act like you do have an organization and they're all watching you as their leader, because you know what? You're going to grow even faster. So treat it like a job until you learn how to treat it like a business. That's exactly what I did, and it worked. Tip number 4, learn to manage your emotions. If you hadn't felt like quitting yet, trust me, you just hadn't been in the business long enough. Just give it some time. You will feel like quitting. I joke and tell people, and actually it's not a joke, I used to want to quit about 100 times a day. Now I'm down to about 2 or 3, most days. But it's going to be an emotional roller coaster. You're going to be in the no sleep zone. You're so excited that the dream machine is on. Then people say negative stuff. You're in the self-doubt zone. We talked about that a little bit earlier. I'll kind of expand on it now. You go, man, maybe I shouldn't do this. Maybe my negative friends and family are right for making fun of me. And by the way, don't worry about that, because it's easier to tear someone else's building down than to go build their building bigger. And when you start trying to get out of the box, for example, your friends, if you get too low, they'll try to encourage you and they'll go, hey, come back up here. Don't get too low. But when you start getting too high, like I did when I was bankrupt and car repossessed and on government assistance and couldn't make it through college and couldn't keep a job, people reminded me, hey, Darin, who do you think you are going out there trying to do some type of business and better your life? Don't you remember how many times you failed? Okay, so you can't listen to them, but you're in the self-doubt phase. All of it seems to be, magnified at that time. Then someone may call you back and they say, you've never seen anyone do what I'm going to do for you. Like, you're going to get rich just off of what my production. 2 weeks later, maybe a month later, they're in the witness protection program. They've run from you in the grocery store. You don't hear from them ever again. Some people just get in, sign an application, donate their money to the company, and you never hear from. That's normal. We all go through that. You're not going through or going to go through anything the rest of us hadn't gone through. You're writing chapters in your book. And as you're going through the emotional roller coaster, the ups, the downs, eventually your downs will be higher than your previous highs. And that's the way it works. But when you're going through the challenges, remember, that's when you just don't try to go through it. Have the attitude and the perspective and the philosophy, I'm going to grow through it, right? This is the time I'm going to stretch, because I get paid based on the size of the problem that I can solve. Okay, so Jim Rohn once again says, don't wish it was easier, wish we were better. But it's an emotional roller coaster. Another thing that's going to happen, you're going to put in a lot of work, and you're going to look at your paycheck, and you're going to be like, I cannot believe how much time I've put into this business with very little pay. Here's the way you have to look at it. You're earning money, you're just not receiving it yet. At first, you're going to do more work than you're getting paid, to eventually you're getting paid for more than you're doing. So if you learn to manage those emotions, the first year of joining any company is basically a year of survival. I mean, you're just trying to hang in there as you figure out what you've gotten into, how you've learned the basics, you're drilling the basics, you're learning the skills to go out there and take your business and your life to another level. But if you're looking at the long-term picture, if you invest in a franchise, the rule of thumb is you have to invest 5 times the amount of money you want to make. You want to make $100,000 a year, try investing at least $500,000, and you don't own the business owns you. And after working 8 to faint, can to can't, you just pray that you're in business 5 years from now. And most of the time you hadn't even gotten your money back, and you hadn't, let alone made $1 profit. So that's the downside of what we do, to be honest with you. How do you get into network marketing? A few $100s and you go, I'm in. How do you get out of network marketing? I'm out. So you're not going through anything or going to go through anything that we hadn't gone through. You're writing chapters in your book. Remember, those stories will inspire and motivate other people. If I told you that I got into network marketing and everyone joined and everyone loved the product and all my people succeeded, you would not be inspired by that story. What inspires and motivates other people when they hear Darin Kidd's story is they know they can do what I did. So be encouraged, manage those emotions, stick and stay, and eventually you're going to get your pay. Tip number 5, plug into the system. Most companies, almost every company, they have their own system. I call this the life support of your business. You want to make sure not only you, but as you build your team, you don't want them people dependent. You want them system dependent. So what do I mean by system? Because they always have to come to you or me. Well, guess what? There may be times that you don't feel well. Maybe you're traveling out of the country. Maybe you're taking a vacation. And if everyone is waiting on you, your business stops. And it's only going to duplicate to a certain point. You've seen the examples of you go get 5 people, right? And it's not just 5 people that are breathing. It's 5 people that are core and committed. And then those 5 find their 5. Well, now that's 25. And then that goes to 125, 625, 30, 125. But the only way you ever break through from 25 to 125 and beyond is you have to have them system dependent, not dependent on you or not dependent on me. So what are the systems? It's the company, maybe their corporate update call. Maybe it's a webinar they have once a week where they're training people. Maybe it's a back office training they've designed for all the new distributors joining your company. Maybe it's a weekly market party, okay, where they get together to have a reunion every single week, whether you have guests or you don't have guests. Man, you need that association, that encouragement of people that believe what you believe. So the way that I look at the system is the life support. It takes a very short period of time for people to get discouraged and quit. So I want to keep them all close to the fire and keep them as hot as possible while they're going through the process and building their business. Number 6, this is a very important tip. All of them are important, but this one is one that can really take you to the next level, or it can help you quit faster than ever. Associations. Associations are everything. I wish someone had really drilled this in my head when I was younger, because I didn't realize that I become who I hang around. We all become who we hang around. In 5 years, look at Think and Grow Rich. They studied 500 of the wealthiest people in the world over 20 years. And they talk about the 13 things that they have in common. And I remember as I read that book and look over that book and Napoleon Hill and all the wealthy people that I've been able to meet that have the lifestyle that I want to have for me and my family, they all are very careful who they associate with. They know that associations are like an elevator. They either take you up or they bring you down. So ask yourself, what are your associations doing to you, or what are they doing for you? It's also proven that in 5 years, our income is the average of the 5 people that we associate with the most. So as you start your journey in network marketing, or you relaunch your business in network marketing, even me being a top earner in this industry and our company, they're top leaders. that I choose to spend very little time with. And you go, well, why is that? Because they're top leaders. They're comfortable. They're not growing. They're not stretching. They're not pushing to gain as much market share as they possibly can. I want to make sure that I hang around people that are motivated and driven and positive and uplifting. And again, you could also have the other side in your company, people that are not willing to do what they're willing to do. And so they start looking for reasons why it's not working instead of looking in the mirror going, hey, if I don't like where I am, it's because of me. And then it makes them feel good if they can find someone else that has the same story and they just have a negative tennis match. They go, you think that's negative? Bam, take this. And they go, oh, yeah, well, if you think that's bad, take this. And they just find comfort. Misery loves company. Isn't that true? So be careful who you associate with. Be intentional as you're looking for the right associations. When I first got started, my associations were books and audio programs, and every time I could find some type of seminar with their company, I was there because I didn't have really any great associations locally that I could hang around. Another tip with associations, man, this is some good stuff. I do not want to be at the top of my 5. What does that mean? If I'm at the top of my 5, the people that I associate with the most, the only thing we can do is I can go down. But if I'm toward the bottom of the 5 people that I associate with the most, the only thing that can happen with me is they can pull me up. So associations are definitely a key tip when getting started in network marketing or relaunching your business. So pay attention to your associations. And last but not least, tip number 7, do not, under any circumstance, and I'm going to tell you this, and you're probably still going to do it, but then hopefully you will remember me saying do not do it, and that is do not compare yourself to other people. When you hear these stories of people getting into a company, they went to the top position in 2.5 hours, and money's just flying out of their pockets and distributors are flocking to them, there's always a story behind the story. Maybe they were in another company, they brought people with them. Maybe they built for months before they signed up. Then they signed the application and everybody, joined at one time. They were pre-building into a country. There's all these stories. And sometimes fast doesn't last. I know people personally that got started, they missed every rank. It took them months to even get one person to join. They couldn't even get their own mom to join. That's pretty bad, right? When you can't even go, Mom, I need your help. And mom wouldn't even join, wouldn't even become a customer with some of these people that I know. But now they're top leaders in network marketing because they were consistent, persistent, and kept a good attitude and followed the tips that I've already given to you. So don't compare yourself because it's frustrating. And just know, hey, look, everyone has their own journey. It happens at different times for different people. And as long as you're keeping a good attitude and you're doing the simple little things on a daily basis, you're mastering the mundane without getting bored. And that's very important. Okay, not comparing yourself to people and just staying laser focused. And when you're frustrated because you go, I'm not getting there as fast as this person, it must not be working. And so then what you want to do is reinvent the wheel and change things up. And your company has a system. Focus on the system. Master the mundane. Do the same simple things on a daily basis that seem to make no difference at all in the act of doing them that will compound over a period of time. So those 7 tips are key when starting network marketing, having success as you're getting started or relaunching your business. Question of the day. If you're committed to launching or relaunching your business, I'd love to hear from you. Go ahead and put yes in the comments below. And for more training content just like this, we're releasing about a video a week. Make sure you subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of the free training content. Also, if you have not had a chance to download my free ebook, because we gave you some basics today, but I've got 3 things to really help you succeed in network marketing, and you can get that free ebook at succeedwithdarin.com/3 keys. We'll put it up on the video and we'll also put it below in the description. So I appreciate you taking the time. Congratulations in advance for launching or relaunching your business, and we'll see you on the next video. Take care.